Okay, I want to call to order. Today is Monday, May 13th, 2019, fiscal year 20 operating budget hearings with the Budget and Finance Committee and Metro Council. Before us, we have the Finance Department. We have Alicia Veravu. I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can do your introductions. You can walk us through your budget, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Vercher. I'm Kim McDaniel, and this is Alicia Veravuth from Finance, and she is the one in Finance who is responsible for keeping up with our budget. First, I want to thank all of the Finance Department employees. We have got a lot of really dedicated, hardworking employees who usually are behind the scenes, making things work for the rest of the Metro departments that provide services to the public. I'm going to touch on a few of the department's accomplishments over the past year, then turn it over to Alicia for a status on our savings targets and touch on some of our 2020 operating budget requests, and then we'll be happy to take questions. This year, the procurement department managed the disparity study that has resulted in the new Equal Business Opportunity Program. The study provided us with the analysis and data needed to make enhancements to our procurement program to better support minority and women-owned businesses wanting to do business with Metro and to better ensure equity in our purchasing practices. I couldn't be up here without mentioning all the transactions that we do in the Finance Department. We processed last year over 1.4 million transactions that pay employees, pay suppliers, keep up with the accounting transactions that are necessary for our financial statements, and that's a dedicated team in financial operations that do all those things. And virtually every Finance Department division, in addition to doing what we regularly do, has been working really hard on an implementation of a new enterprise-wide system that will be fully integrated and be a much better resource for us. This year, one of the things that the grants office did, the Office of Financial Accountability, in addition to monitoring over $50 million worth of grants, worked with the Codes Department for the short-term rental study, the cost study that was done, and that study determined that we were not covering our costs with permit fees, and you all will have related legislation in front of you, and the results of that study have also been incorporated into the budget. In our Treasury division, this year issued $715 million of bonds to fund capital projects. The Treasury staff supports our $3 billion pension fund by supporting the investment committee, and through April have collected over $59 million in hotel-motel taxes. The Public Property Division has prioritized the sale of the properties that were budgeted and approved for sale this year, and we currently have all of those properties under contract and scheduled to close before June 30th. And we also did a comprehensive update to our public property policy this year, which is maybe not all that exciting, but it had been 1998 since the last time we had updated the policies, and that was a welcome relief to get that done. And finally, in addition to the ordinance and the related legislation that got filed May 1st, our Office of Management and Budget coordinated a $350 million capital spending plan and two 4% reserve fund resolutions, and had overseen enhancements to our budgeting software. It's another one of those behind-the-scene things, and updated several financial policies. So I think with that, I'll turn it over to Alicia.
Thank you. This year, our savings target goal was $139,000. By holding 7 positions vacant throughout the year, we're pleased to say that we've not only met, but exceeded that goal as of November. For FY20, we're requesting 5 positions that support our new Equal Business Opportunity Program, 1 position for our collections office that'll increase hotel occupancy tax collections for STRPs, 1 position for the budgets office that restores a previous year staff reduction, a fringe adjustment for Treasury, a grant fund adjustment, and lastly, the restoration of our FY19 savings target. And with that, we're happy to take any questions.
Councilman Cooper.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. How much additional revenue are you thinking that you'll make from this additional staff support position on the short-term rental tax collection?
Well, our, the collections this year, at this point this year, are about 59 million. Last year at this time, it was around 54 million. So the volume is continuing to grow and the workload is continuing to grow.
I'm sorry, 59 million for short-term rental tax, for hotel tax?
Motel, and
Okay.
short-term rental. Yes, they do both in the
And
collections
what
office.
portion of that is short-term rental tax?
This year, it's around 10%. Last year, it was a little bit less than 10% of the total, 59 million. So this year, the short-term rental, I think, is around 10% of that number.
And so this person is finding places that should be paying additional tax, or is that a codes function, or?
Actually, we have that contractor, Host Compliance, that looks for short-term rental properties that aren't registered, that aren't permitted, and aren't paying taxes. But just the processing of all the hotel motel taxes and the short-term rental taxes, as the taxpayers pay them, take quite a bit of work.
Okay, so can we anticipate additional revenue due to this person?
I think
Do we need 2 more people, or is there? I mean, is this a high return on investment situation?
I think that to the extent that hotel, motel, and short-term rental activity continues to grow, we'll just have to monitor that as we go forward. There is additional revenue on the permitting side in the budget this year of about 1.1 million. That would more than cover this position and a couple of other improvements for codes and fire.
Okay, and then also this is the new permitting fee would be collected by this part as
Yes.
well as the hotel and motel.
Well, the
tax.
codes department collects the permitting fee, but it's the permitting fee that goes up as a result of the cost study, if you all approve that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Councilman Cooper. Councilwoman Hurt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all so much for your presentation. You mentioned the EBO program, and I see that it's $442,000. Can you specifically say how much is that is for staff? Has any been for training? And is any going to be provided for direct support to the MBEs and WBs and all those BEs?
Those are great questions, and Michelle Hernandez-Lane, our purchasing agent, is in the back, and I will let her address those questions. She can address them better than I can.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Council Lady Hurt. Of the value that has been requested, roughly $257,000 of that is for, as Ms. Veravuth noted, 5 additional positions within the office. Just to give a little bit of context, the office currently has 5 positions that operate today. With these new additions, we will have a total of 6 contract compliance staff. The contract compliance element of the work is important because that's where we have the insurance of program compliance and reviews of the actual bids that are received to ensure that they comply with the elements of the program. It includes also a procurement data officer. The EBO ordinance specifies that we will set goals on each project. We believe that in the interest of effective administration of the program, it's important to have a singular person whose job is everything data, who's reviewing everything related to the program and establishing those goals, making sure that we're complying with the standards that are set forth in the ordinance as well. It includes an administrative services officer that will support that office. It's something they don't really have today. And it also includes a procurement accountability officer that is responsible for helping with enforcement investigations, ensuring that we are actually administering the enforcement elements of the ordinance as they are defined. So that is what that 57,000 is included or includes. It also includes software that will assist the compliance staff in effectively managing their compliance duties and reporting to the council, to the purchasing agent, and to the finance director as is required by the EBO ordinance. It also includes funding for staff training as well as for registration and memberships in additional organizations, industry-specific organizations, to assist those employees.
Thank you very much. So is there any money designated specifically for the small businesses and women-owned businesses that we are looking to support directly to assist them as they process their RFPs and so forth?
So as a matter of, like, say, stipends or beyond the typical training that would support those folks?
So the training is training for the employees and for the MBEs?
Yes,
Okay.
it is twofold. So there is specific training to ensure that those staff are most knowledgeable about all current trends related to contract compliance. But it also includes training to assist our DBE community, teaching them, it's a business capacity effort, really, to help them understand how to do business with the city, how to be a successful bidder or offerer when you're submitting on an RFP or an ITB, that kind of thing. Things that we know based on our interactions with them and other business resource community organizations that those businesses need to really be successful.
Thank you very, very much. And I just want to thank you all so much for the hard work and the effort. And I know Ms. Michelle Hernandez-Lane has worked tirelessly for years to make sure something like this was put in place for the constituents of this community. And I really want to commend you and for all the hard work.
Thank you so much.
And the support and effort that you've put toward this.
I appreciate it.
Director Lomax O'Neill.
Councilmember Hurt, this is not in the Finance Department's budget, but I wanted to bring your attention to an appropriation that's been made to the Nashville Business Incubation Center. They are recommended an amount of $100,000 in this budget to provide technical assistance to those small businesses. So that would be on page J014 if you wanted to take a look at that description of that item. But I think it's important for the community to understand that there are other investments in this budget, even beyond what's in the Finance Department's budget.
Thank you, Director. Councilwoman Weiner. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I just have one question about grants. So what is the scope of work that the folks in your department that are specifically tasked with grant work, what do they do?
I think there are two pieces to it. There's a group that works on the front end of grants that are that departments are applying for, and get involved with the departments to make sure that everything's in place with the contracts and the agreements and everything before it comes to council for approval. And then the Office of Financial Accountability actually goes out into the field and does on a rotating basis audits grants that Metro receives. And they also audit some of the grants, the direct appropriations that Metro gives out. And I think as a result of the work, when we get to our external audit at the end of the year, with the outside auditors, we rarely have any kinds of findings or questions, costs, or anything like that, because the Office of Financial Accountability goes out and does that review and works with the departments to ensure they're complying with grant agreements.
Is there anybody in the department that does research to look for grants?
That would be more in the departments, I think.
And do all the departments have researchers? Are they limited to like fire and police? Do you have Any
I
way
mean,
that we
I
can?
think like the big departments that get a lot of grants, like schools and health, come to mind in addition to fire and police. They keep their finger on the pulse of what's out there and what's available at a department level.
Okay, the reason I asked is when you think about the scope of some of the grants that are out there, they could touch multiple departments. And so I wondered if there was a mechanism in place where the right hand's talking to the left hand so that everybody would be able to take advantage of those grants that will touch all different departments. That may be something we want to look at. I think that, that's a source of revenue and it's an opportunity maybe to reduce duplication.
Yeah, and there is some level of that goes on, but there's more of that goes on in the departments. That's
Okay, great, thank you.
Good point, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Weiner. Seeing no further questions, Kim, thank you so much. And Director Lomax O'Neill, want to thank you and your team for always being so helpful and resourceful, particularly to me. And thank you for submitting your questionnaire. That concludes your budget hearing. Thank you, Kim.
Thank